Why hello everyone, Craig here, and this is Trials Evolution, but that doesn't really matter. I just needed something to talk over while I tell you a story that a lot of people have been asking me to tell, because some people already know about it. It's a story known as the Italian Girl story. I also like to refer to it as the Italian Job or the Raw Dog Chronicles, which you can determine which title you like best, it's up to you. And before I start, let me point out this story is R-rated, it contains sexual content, all that other stuff, so if you're, not supposed to be hearing this type of thing, earmuffs, stop listening. Anyway, to start this off, flashback 2010. I'm on Facebook, I'm lonely, and I'm desperate. And I'm looking through my friends list for one reason or another, and I see this name there that I don't recognize. So I guess I accepted a friend request at some point without really, paying attention or checking into it. And for the sake of the story, I'm going to call her Jamie, because that was her name. So I start talking to her, I'm like, who are you? How do we know each other? Do I know you? That kind of stuff. She's like, oh, we went to school together, we never talked, I was great ahead of you, but, that kind of thing. So we start talking, and we're both single, we're both desperate, we're both lonely, so I'm like, hey, how about tomorrow, you want to go on a date? See how it works out? And she's like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And, in the chat that that we're having, she seems very, energetic and fun-loving, to kind of a weird degree. She asked me questions like, are you a virgin? Maybe not something to ask in the first hour you know somebody. That's a little weird. But, whatever. So, next day comes, and I decide, to pick her up. And I pick her up at her house, and she's a thin-ish Italian girl with really dark skin, but her main physical trait, the one that stood out, was that she had a mustache. Not a big bushy one, but it was there and it was very noticeable. Now I know that most girls actually do grow mustaches, but you know what most girls do? They shave them, or they wax them off, or something. Not her though, she presented it in all its glory, right there for all to see. Awesome. I pick winners. So, we go out, we go to dinner, and dinner, she just doesn't know when to shut the fuck up. She's just talking and talking, and I like conversation, but it wasn't that. It was her talking at me about shit. It was just annoying. She wouldn't be quiet. Valley girls talk more than, she talks about as much as a Valley girl. That's how I would describe it. So, shit. Great, I'm already not that into this, but again, I'm desperate. And then we went and saw a movie. We went and saw Shrek 4, Shrek Forever After. And she couldn't follow the plot of the film. It's Shrek. It is a PG movie. She could not follow the plot to save her life. I had to explain every step of the film. And she didn't even get it then, I'm pretty sure. So, fucking awesome. This girl's dumb, and she's overly talkative. Already not looking like a winner, but I am willing to let shit slide. I'm very desperate. We've been over this. So, after all that, I take her back to my house. And we start watching the MTV Movie Awards, because of course she wants to watch the MTV Movie Awards. Why wouldn't she? But, after a little while, she turns to me and goes, hey, just so you know, if you just kiss down my ear and, down my neck, it drives me crazy. I don't know if I'll be able to stop myself. That's a signal. That is absolutely a signal if I have ever heard one. So, I start doing that, I do what I was told, and we start fooling around. And then I remember that I don't have any protection, I don't have any condoms or anything like that, so being responsible, I'm like, I don't think we should go any further, because I don't have any condoms or any protection. Straight-faced, hand to God, I swear this is what she said. She looks at me dead in the eye, straight-faced, and says, that's okay, you can just raw dog it. And I did not know how to handle that statement. I know what she meant, but who the fuck says that? That is the stupidest thing I had heard in quite some time, and I play Xbox every day. So, raw dogging ensued. I didn't know what to do, so raw dogging ensued. Sex with her was terrible. It was the worst I've ever had in my life. She just laid there like a corpse. She didn't react or move. It was awful. It was terrible. So, she leaves my house. And I'm already thinking this isn't going to work out, but again, willing to let a lot of crap slide, because I'm that desperate. Next day, she's texting me all day at work, and I also decide to text my best friend Jimmy, and Jimmy seems to know everybody. He's the type of guy that he'll surprise you with how many people in the world know him. So I text him and I was like, "Hey, do you know a girl named Jamie yada yada?" And the response I get back from him is, "Oh no." That's it. That's the entirety of his response. He doesn't clarify. So I'm like, oh, fuck. What have I done? So later that night, she comes over to my house, and raw dogging ensues. Again, terrible raw dogging. And we start talking about exes. And she's like, well, I have an ex who I was engaged to someone once, but he left me for another girl, so I'm actually going to go and fuck up his car later. And I'm like, she probably shouldn't do that. That's probably a bad idea, if you ask me. But the important part of the story is I talk about my ex. Now, at the time, in my life, I've had one serious, loving relationship, which lasted over 2 years. And at the time, me and that girl, my ex, we were still friends. We would talk occasionally, we would go get dinner occasionally, see a movie, stuff like that. Friend things. And so I tell Jamie this, and this blows her fucking mind. Like, she couldn't fathom that being friends with an ex was possible. So she screamed and stormed out of my house. And I'm like, okay, that's all I needed to kick you out, to cut you out of my life. You gave me the perfect bullet. But then she leaves and she just calls and calls and calls and calls. She's like, I'm so sorry, baby. I didn't mean to. I'm Italian. That's why I lost my temper. Like, that is not a thing. That is not a viable excuse. I'm sorry. But I'm just like, it's done. I'm sorry. We're done. Like, you're crazy. No thanks. Have, like, good luck, but no thanks. Next day, I'm at work again, and because I'm not a total dick, I don't hate her. I'm iffy on her, but I don't like her, but I don't hate her at this point. I'm neutral. So I text her to see how she's doing, and she's like, well, I want to give up on love. In fact, I'm thinking about killing myself. And, like, I know she's probably full of shit, but at the same time, I'm not a bad person. I can't just let that slide, because I know who she is. So we start talking, and I'm like, you know what? Okay, fine. I'll give you one more shot. Just one more. Just to see. Maybe it was a fluke. Maybe the whole couple days have been a fluke. So she comes over to my house that night, and she's like, I just want to lay down and take a nap. And I'm like, okay, you can sit on this futon. I have 2 futons. You can sit on this futon and nap, and I'll sit on this futon and watch Behind Enemy Lines with Owen Wolves. After like half an hour, she says, oh, I'm cold. And I'm like, okay, well, do you want me to get you a blanket, or do you want me to come over? Like, probing, figuring out what she means. And she's like, I think you should come over. Okay. Open the pod bay doors, Hal. Pretty sure that is a signal. So I go over, we start fooling around again. Raw dogging ensues. Clothes are off, raw dogging 2.0 happens. In the middle of it, she starts tearing up. Out of nowhere. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And so she's like, I need to tell you something, and I don't want you to hate me, but yesterday, after I left your house, I went and I had sex with one of my exes. And I'm just like, okay, you're gonna do this now. Right in the middle, like, right now, you're planning on doing. Okay, I didn't know how to react, so I'm like, don't do it again. Already, pretty much, like, I know this girl's out of my life. I want her out of my life very soon. Then she starts tearing up again, and she's like, I also had sex with one of my exes before I came here. And I'm like, okay, I think it's about time you left and got out of my life. You're a psychopath and apparently a whore, so get out. And she's reaching up to me with tears in her eyes, like, no, baby, please, come on, we can talk about this. I'm like, nah, get out. Get out of my house. And instantly, snap of fingers, all the tears go away. And she has a serious look, and she's like, I actually didn't have sex with any of my exes. I was just saying that so you could know the pain that I felt when you said that you were friends with your ex. What the fuck are you talking about? Brr, that blew my mind more than raw dog. So I kicked her out. I cut her out of my life. 3 days of fun, and she was texting me with death threats and calling me fat and ugly and all this fun stuff. It was a good 3 or 4 days. So, that's the Italian girl story. Let me know what you guys think. I hope it was entertaining.